How awake do you feel in your life? Check out your feet. I'm gonna roll my pants up so you can kind of see my ankles. Now, many times, I don't really think about it, but Pilates has created kind of a lift or a strength or a connection, an energy that I can use in my daily life. I have learned, I'm going to go to the side here. I want you to see that I have quite an exaggerated lifted arch, and I'm not even really trying. But if I use my Pilates mind-body thoughts, and I think about lifting the arch of the foot, do you see that happen? I'm doing it from my belly muscles, actually. So there's me just sort of plump, sort of rooted down. All of my children and my late husband had what they called flat feet, sort of pronated in. But we can actually create a lift of the arch of the foot, muscularly as well as energetically. Just thinking about it. I don't even have to do this sort of yoga thing about lifting all the toes up to do it, although that does exaggerate it. I can think of it just energetically. It's a little softer core connection. I like practicing that with that foot in particular because I have injuries, and oftentimes when we're not aware of what happens with our feet, that energy or lack of energy or connection to the musculature up the body through to the core, the muscles around your pelvis, all the way up to the diaphragm, all the way up to the crown of the head, sort of go, let's call it dead in spots, and the communication highway doesn't get through those joints. So I do like thinking about, sure, we can wiggle our toes around, put them down like a piano, lift them up like a piano, maybe put just the toe down. Oh, that's a harder one. Put the big toe down ball and then lift the other ones up. Like getting some foot health would be a great place to start. There's many of us who are very sedentary right now and a little stressed out because they're working at home or staying at home. But let's just start with the feet. Okay, so there's this sort of evenness, front, back, side, side of the foot, or the feet. And we can move like physically around to create sort of an evenness, front, back, side, side. Or we can actually think of lifting or finding muscles within the foot so that the dome or the arch of the foot is even, front, back, side, side. And then you can sway your body sort of forward and back. You can kind of see it in the shadow there. So when I go forward, the heels might lift a tiny bit. When I go back, the ball of the foot gets lighter. You don't have to lift the whole, you don't have to topple over backwards, but your body wants to know where your center of gravity is, it's in your pelvis. So your brain wants to know where you are in space so you don't fall over. So our core connection can actually happen quite readily through the information highway of the feet. For the sake of this mini foot class, we'll rock forward and then squeeze the heels together. Now I'm going to walk a little closer so that my heels really get together. Now this is called Pilates V, and I'm going to continue rocking forward and back, trying to keep my heels together, especially when I go forward. My knees tend to want to go one in front of the other. So I'm going to just try to evenly squeeze the inner heels, like a good inch of your inner heels. All right, now without swaying so much forward and back, squeeze and lift your heels up. And then down. So there might still be a slight inclination to sway forward. Try to stay on the inside, the inner heel of the feet, the inner ball of the foot. It's a little struggle bus. And then lower without swaying forward so much. And let me know what you feel. Really sense what you feel in your body. So there's a definite core connection to the arch of the foot, the inner heel, the squeeze of the heels. It connects you up into your core, front and back. I like to call it butt and belly. So the first thing we do in Pilates is connect to our feet, especially on the reformer workout. We do our footwork, but even in some of the mat work that will be introducing to you slowly. I just thought it'd be fun to start with your feet. Oh, one last thing, take the heels apart and bend your knees as far down as you can without the heels coming off. Just kind of notice how much ankle flexion you have. I'll show you mine. It's not great, it's decent. I'm a skier, I like to press my shins forward into the ski boots. You'll notice a pull on the back of the calves, maybe even a slight compression in the front of your shins, depending on how your anatomy is. But one day, when you think about that heel staying down and the low belly staying long and wide, that has a little different core connection. So I'm going to take a breath and inhale to bend. Exhale, just notice what happens with the shoulders. They sort of relax. And then back. So I'm going to use those couple of thoughts. I'm going to go back to my Pilates feet. So I'm going to rock forward so that my heels come together. Sort of a natural, it's a military stance. It's not a ballet turnout. I'm kind of a wannabe. So I'll bend my knees in that same forward flexion. The only difference, I'm rotating from my hip sockets. So my knees go towards my toes. And then I can lift the heels up, straighten the legs, zipper up, and then put them down. This is called poor man's Pilates. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, lift them up. Inhale, squeeze and stay up. Exhale, down. Try it with your eyes shut. Now you can reverse it. Lift your heels up. Bend the knees, keep your heels up. How far can you bend the knees? Stay evenly spread on your toes. Send your sit bones or your low belly towards your heels. Put your heels down and then straighten legs. Woo! Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Stay balanced. Rotate those thighs in the hip socket. Put your heels down, really challenging my shin on my one leg, and squeeze. Try it with your eyes shut. And that, my friends, is a little bit of footwork, poor man's Pilates, sensing how the movements of your feet or the connection of your feet to the ground translates up into your core, into your movement patterns as you walk ahead or forward in life.